No. How did you hurt your shoulder?
Because I was rushing and by holding my loaded clothes in the last two steps on the stair, I just went through instead of one.
So you fell?
I almost fell, but by not falling, I was holding myself up with my arm against the close of the door, and I twisted my shoulder.
Okay. So let's see. We'll see what you can do and what you can't do. You may find that some of the things we do today will help because we're working on all three areas of the spine. And lots of times, if you do something to the spine, it's going to show in other parts of the body, like the shoulders. So you actually hit your shoulder on something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Let's see, I don't even know. I mean, those things always happen when I rush.
Okay, Zoom people, if there's anybody up there, if you want the homework for this program is called Posture, Posture, Posture. The reason 3 postures is because we're working posture in all 3 areas of the spine. And if you want the homework, email me at steveavellino@yahoo.com. Avellino is Avellino @yahoo.com. Natalie's on the list. I think 6 people signed up for this course, which I was kind of surprised because I'm starting in Foxborough on Monday, and they may have to do 2 classes because last time I checked, there were like 16 or 18 people that signed up for it. No, what I'm seeing is different towns, and I don't know why, but different towns are reacting to the COVID thing differently. And, you know, as far as maybe people in Foxborough have gotten vaccines more than people here, I don't know, I'm just speculating. But I know my wife and I went out to eat Saturday night for the first time in months and months and months. And the parking lot was just like packed. People just like, I gotta get out, you know, plus with the good weather or whatnot. Okay, so the posture course, I was telling Janet earlier, I put posture 4th as far as aging well. The first 3 being sleep, hydration, and diet, nutrition. But posture is huge because if we are hunched over, first of all, it takes more energy than if we're standing straight. We're not breathing properly because we don't have enough air to fill the lungs in this position. We're not digesting properly. And we're taking our joints and putting them in positions where they don't want to be, okay? And you can take identical 85-year-old twins, one that's hunched over and one that's standing straight, and the one standing straight looks younger, and the one standing straight feels younger, and it does something to your brain as well. Psychologically, your body just feels better in this position, okay? So let's take a look at the homework. So this course, I work a little bit of posture in all my programs, but this is the first time that I actually decided to do strictly posture. So some of these things that we're going to be doing, we may have done in other classes. Week 3 or 4, we're going to start doing different things, okay? But I'm really excited. So this is the first class I've started with this, and I start in Foxborough on Monday, where it's strictly posture. So the cool thing about this is if you do the homework, your posture will definitely be different in 6 weeks. And then if you just do the maintenance part, your posture should be fine for the rest of your life, okay? And we have 2 more people, so let me give them the homework and we'll get started. How are you?
Good, well, thanks. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I'll give it to Natalie. I'll give one to Natalie.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Dig the shoes.
I know, I was looking at them too. I love it. I love the color. Nice.
Looking sharp today. So the first part of the homework, wall posture, what we're going to do with that is get the body used to standing the way we used to. I know a few people that do this every day because they say it makes them feel good. Hey, Natalie. So all we're doing, you're going to be against the wall or door, and we're not doing this now. We're just going over the homework, and then we'll do the classes. Ideally, we should be able to stand with our heels, our glutes, our shoulders, and the back of our head against the wall without doing this, without leaning back. When you're doing it at home, bring the heels forward. Don't put the heels against the wall because we don't want any balance issues, okay? So what it will look like is just bringing the feet forward a little bit, okay? But when you do this, it may feel a little strange at first, but your body's going to love it because that's the way we used to stand when we were young, okay? We start the homework with this move just to get the body to say, okay, I remember this, and it feels good. Did you get your homework? Okay, good. Okay, the next part of the homework, which we've done in a previous class, so that the wall posture is going to get our spine in a position where, okay, this is where we want to be from now on. The get long, we're just lifting the bottom ribs up high. When you do that, you're going to feel a stretch in the lower back. That's our 5 lumbar vertebrae, okay? And then you're going to hold this and just kind of breathe into it. But as soon as I did this, I felt my 5 lumbar vertebrae create space, okay? So once again, we're looking at posture and all 3 different parts of the spine. First one being the lumbar vertebrae. So now we're in this position because we lifted, and try it sitting down. Just think about your bottom ribs and lift them high. Not back, just high. And you should feel a stretch on the lower back, okay? Over time, if you practice this enough, the muscles in the lower back are going to, that's really good, Natalie. Damn. The muscles in the lower back are going to start to acclimate to this because once again, they assume the position, like if we're sitting, hip flexors get short. If we're standing long, these muscles are going to become active, and then eventually we won't have to think about being long. The spine will do it on its own, okay? Now this next one, the thoracic brace, so the thoracic spine between the lower back and the neck, so all through the rib cage. What we're doing here, I'm going to get long, and I'm taking my head, I'm focusing my eyes on something in the wall, and I'm just going forward and all the way back without tilting my chin. And now in this position, I just kind of lock between my shoulder blades. So try that. Don't move the torso. It's just the neck and the head. Forward, back, and then kind of lock it when you get into the back position. You have it. You have it. So you feel it between the shoulder blades right now. So look at the way she's sitting. Her thoracic spine is locked in now. So what I did was forward, back. When I get all the way back into extension, you feel the muscles between the shoulder blades start to activate, and in that position, just tighten. You definitely have it. So note you're moving the chest, just the head. Think of the way a turkey walks. Neck first. And now back, and now lock it. You got it? You feel the muscles between the shoulder blades going up into the neck? You feel it, Janet? How about you, Jeannie? So think about this. It's strictly neck. Think turkey walking. Forward, back, and then when you go into extension here, bringing the head back, your thoracic spine the muscles around the spine, they activate. And then when you're in that position, just lock it. So it may take a while for the mind-muscle connection to happen, but it seems like all of you have it. You had it immediately. Now, the next part of the homework, single leg stance. You're holding onto the sink, and we're just doing this. But you're going to get long first, okay? Reason we're doing this, people always think this is a balance thing, but over time, if you can do it without holding on to the sink and maybe just have your finger on the sink or whatever, now we're working all the stabilizer muscles to support the posture we've just assumed. Make sense? Okay? And then the bird dog, there's a group of muscles on either side of the spine, deep, deep, deep. They're called the multifidus. They are the primary stabilizers of the spine, okay? If you can get those active, it's going to make a huge difference in your posture and the way you stand and sit. So we're going to do what is called a bird dog. So you can do this on the floor or on your bed. And you're going to start off with just one leg back and tighten, okay? Eventually, tighten your tummy and your glutes, okay? Eventually, you're going to be able to take the opposite arm and go out here, okay? Once you can do that, you're working the multifidus muscles, these tiny little stabilizer muscles that start at the bottom of the spine and go all the way up. Once you get those active, everything starts to change, because now, so you can have people that will come home from work or whatever, and they're all tense. Everybody carries their tension here. The reason they're carrying the tension there is because they're using these muscles to stand up straight, and you should be using these muscles here. But since everybody's multifidi are pretty much shut off, have gone to sleep, the body's saying, okay, these aren't going to do their job. We have to use other muscles to do the job. So everybody has tension through here because we're holding ourselves up with the wrong muscles. Once you get the multifidi active, and if you can do the occasional bird dog or other exercise that I give you for the rest of your life, maybe once or twice a week, your multifidi will always be active. You'll always have a stable spine, and you will age better for sure. Yep, yep. So once again, start off, we don't know what your level is, so either start off on the floor or on the bed and just practice this and being stable, especially on the bed because the mattress is going to have some give to it. And then other side. So now we're working the multifidus, but when we get into this position, now the multifidus has to stabilize. Otherwise, you're going to fall over. Okay? So practice this. Let me know if any of the movements cause pain. But if you can do these every day for a couple of minutes, muscles are going to start to become active, and you're going to start changing the way you sit and walk and stand. Once again, this is the first time I've devoted a full 6-week program to just posture, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys at the end of 6 weeks, because you should look like career Marine Corps. Just in posture, not mental attitude. Okay, so let's start the class. What's that? It should. I never say 100% because I don't know what's causing your back pain. But think about it. So I've had a lot of people who have come to me, arthritis in the lower back, okay? Now you can't get rid of the arthritis, but if you get the stabilizer muscles firing, there's less pain. And I have a few people who have arthritis in the lower back with no more pain, simply because the muscles are working and supporting the affected area, okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to do is stand up, please. I'd been going to a chiropractor for a shoulder issue, and he said, yeah, you have kyphosis in your thoracic spine. My 9th and 10th vertebrae are a little too far forward. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't have kyphosis in my spine. I teach this stuff. So anyway, I'm getting to work on that. Okay, first thing we're going to do, feet parallel, and just squeeze your glute muscles, nice and tight. If your glute muscles are active, they support the 5 lumbar vertebrae, okay, which is important. If you're going to be going on a flight, if those ever happen again, if you're going to go see a movie, if that ever happens again, or a long ride, if I'm on an airplane, I'll get up every 20 minutes or so and just squeeze my glutes for like 5 or 10 seconds, or I may put my feet together and squeeze my heels together. You get the same thing. Then the glutes become active and there's less chance of back pain. So those of you who have been with me for a while, it was 4 or 5 years ago, and it was the day before Halloween, and I was speaking with this woman, and she's a bookkeeper, and at the end of every month she's at her desk 13, 14 hours a day closing out the books for the month. Drives home in serious back pain. She has a long drive home. So I said, every time you get up to make a copy, squeeze your heels together for 5 seconds. That activates the glutes, then they'll support the lower back when you're sitting down, okay? She called me up Halloween night the next day and said, I didn't have any back pain driving home. She hasn't had any back pain due to the sitting at the end of the month since then, because all she does is squeeze her heels together. Something that simple. And like you said, why weren't we taught this when we were in school? We would be in totally different shape now, okay? So let's squeeze the glutes. I'm going to do this 10 seconds and relax, and let's do a bunch of sets, because once these are active, they're going to support the lower back. And when you squeeze the glutes, you may feel it in the lower back. Your posture is ridiculously good. I'm just trying to figure out how we can make it better, and I'm not sure how, but we'll work on it. Okay, hold it for a 10 count, relax. Your posture is really good too. All right, squeeze. You feel the glutes activate? Does everybody feel it in the lower back or no?
My tummy automatic rotates.
Yes, yes. That's the best posture I've ever seen you have, which tells me that your glutes weren't overly active. Because even though your posture got a little better in the pelvic class, it wasn't that good. Okay? So focus on the glute squeeze, hold. It's amazing. Everybody's standing up taller because we activated the glutes. Relax, tighten. Your shoulders good so far? Okay. So we're going to work from the bottom of the spine up, and we'll see how far we can get. Okay. So don't move it. Tighten the glutes. Okay, good. Now, when we did this in the last class, just find your pelvic point and pull it in. So, obviously we want the pelvis to be in the right position because that's attached to the spine, okay? Relax, pelvic point, 3 inches from the navel, pull it in. So right now, I automatically feel more active through here, a little tighter. Relax, pull it in. Okay, good. Parallel feet, activate the glutes, and now we're going to get long. So we're going to take our ribs, bottom ribs, and lift them up high, not back. Nope, we're not doing this. Just the ribs. Now that was interesting because I said lengthen the spine, right? And you did this, and I had just said about how we hold our bodies up with the wrong muscles. That's why we have tension here, okay? So parallel feet, bottom ribs, just think about lifting them up. You're not leaning back, just straight up. Good. And just hold this for a few seconds. Don't forget to breathe in it. So if you breathe through the nose in a certain position, you're telling your nervous system that this position is okay. I can see your shoulder. I can see your shoulder. Okay, so let's do it again. Think about the bottom ribs and just lift them up. So when you do it, I can almost, like, it's almost like I'm looking X-ray vision. I can see your lumbar spine just go, boom. Now the cool thing about this, and I don't know since COVID, but before COVID I had 14 students that were a half-inch taller than last year's physical from working on the getting along. And it makes sense because we lose our height in the vertebrae in our spine. We don't lose it because our legs get shorter or whatever. Okay, so let's put this together. Squeeze the glutes. Find your pelvic point, pull it in, and now bottom ribs, lift them up. Now you should be highly active through here. You're super active through there. It's like a board. It is. Okay, sit down, take a break. Did everybody feel that? Cool. So what we've done is we activated the lumbar spine so much, and once again, those stabilizer muscles go up through the thoracic spine as well. That's why you feel it there. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens in 6 weeks from now, because your posture should be good without you having to think about it. And that's the goal. You're absolutely right. So the student just said it actually feels more comfortable with good posture. And that's what the body prefers. It takes a lot less energy to stand like this than it does to stand like this. And once again, if I'm in this position, that's the extent of my breath. If I'm in this position, I at least doubled my air, at least. And every time we're taking oxygen in, we're sending nutrients to different parts of the body. Is everybody familiar how oxygen works? When you take it in, it goes into the red blood cells, goes through the body, and provides nutrients, which obviously is one of the keys to healthy aging. Okay, so let's stand up, please. Let's activate the glutes with a glute squeeze. Take your pelvic point, 3 inches below your navel, pull it in. Take the bottom ribs. Okay, no shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed. There you go. Nope, no shoulders. So just think, that's it. Just think bottom ribs. You can even put your fingers on them and just lift them up. When I do that, I feel my lower back, my lumbar spine get long. Now, one of the beauties of that, too, if you have space between the vertebrae, less chance of disc issues. Okay? So there you were talking about, will this help with lower back pain? Okay, so we're now long, and I can't remember what class we did this in, but if you remember the breath brace, so breath through the nose, exhale halfway, and tighten the abs. This is not a vacuum, it's bracing. Now, all we're doing with the brace is we're taking our stabilizing muscles, and actually a prime muscle group, to activate them to keep us in the good posture. Relax here. I want you to hold that position, but take your hands and just bring them straight down. There you go. Excellent. Best posture I've seen you have, Jeannie. And we just started. Okay, let's do it again. Breath through the nose, blow out halfway through the mouth, and tighten here. When you tighten here, and once again, this is not a vacuum, okay, this is a brace. When you tighten, you should feel your rib cage drop about 1/4 of an inch or so. That's the posture we want to be in. So let's practice semi-holding that brace and just kind of move around, hold the brace, breathe. Because ideally, once we're long and these muscles in the back are activated to keep space between the vertebrae, and these muscles are firing in the brace, we're now holding the position without thinking about it. And that's the key. Shoulders still good? Okay. Okay. Still in the same position, tighten the glutes, pelvic point, get long, lifting the ribs, breath, exhale, brace, and now put the hands behind the back. Shoulder okay? Okay. Hands behind the back and clasp them, and just kind of breathe into it. So this is good. As soon as you put the hands behind the back, you lost the tension here. You felt that? Okay, good. Now, the significance of the hands behind the back, if you took my original balance class, when we sit, our shoulders internally rotate, okay? And that's the start of the hunch. In this position, my shoulders externally rotate. Some of you may be feeling a pull through here, okay? And that's these muscles that were shortened from sitting like this. They adaptively shorten. And now we have to create space here. Beautiful posture, Natalie. Beautiful. So just kind of hold this position, breathe into it, walk around if you'd like, but try to hold the position. We're thinking long length here, brace here. Lengthen the lower back, brace in the abdominal region. Good. Some of you, we have a little work to do. It's almost like it's a zombie apocalypse. Okay, good. How's the shoulder feel? Good? Okay. Right. So this is going to be a good test for you with the shoulder, because in corrective exercise, we talk about what is called proximal stability equates to distal mobility. What that means is proximal stability, if you get the spine working the way it's supposed to, then the distal parts, your shoulders and hips and everything, start to work better. So if I have someone with a shoulder issue, the first thing I'm going to check is the spine. Okay, sit down and take a break. So yeah, try to do the homework every day. It will only take a few minutes. The goal is to be able to have really good posture at the end of 6 weeks without thinking about it. As soon as I said that, you got longer. That's funny, pretty much all my classes, people be standing around talking, and I walk in, and I watch out of, you know what I'm going to say, I watch out of the corner of my eye, and as soon as I see him, everybody's like this. It's like the school principal. Okay, so right now, this is beautiful because no one has their back against the chair. Really good. You're more comfortable with the feet a little wider, so am I, okay? So as far as sitting posture is concerned, if you have your feet close together, so I probably actually do writing maybe an hour a day, okay? And it's very easy if my feet are together to get in this position. If my feet are wide, I really can't, okay? So that's pretty much exactly the way I sit. So at one of my desks, I have a big Swiss ball. You familiar with those? It's a big blue ball. It's like this high, and I use that as my chair. That way I can't slouch.
The best thing I cannot, if I have, like, I'm a quilter, when I go to quilting classes, I'm dying because I'm sitting on a very
Yep.
My back hurts me when I sit on the ball at home. I can sit much longer because it's much more supported. So
Right. Because of the muscles that are supposed to be doing the work are doing the work because they have to when you're on a ball.
it's much easier to sit too.
Right, and it's much less painful too. So if I'm with a new client and I show them bad posture, it literally hurts my back. Like it's painful just to get into that position. My back does not like it. Okay, next thing we're going to do is once again, we have a tendency for this to happen when we sit. You and I had this discussion before the class. We're like this. So we want to get into what is called shoulder extension. So your palms are back and we're going this way, okay? Now when you do that, you may feel a stretching through here because once again, when we sit all the time, this happens and then these muscles literally, adaptively shorten, literally. Because they're in this position all the time and the muscles shorten and then it makes it difficult to do this. So you can do this either standing or sitting, but the palms have to be facing backwards. And we're just going into shoulder extension. Yeah, good idea, don't do it.
Standing or sitting.
Whatever works for you, only backwards.
We did this before.
We did this before, right. So once again, I have a bunch of things that I've taken from all sorts of different programs to put it in.
Makes sense, yeah.
No problem with the shoulder? A little bit? Still seeing the chiropractor? Okay, is that working out for you? Good. So I was listening to this gymnastics coach, a brilliant guy, and he says ideally when you go into shoulder extension, you should be able to bring your hands to shoulder height. I'm like, what? I mean, I'm not even close, you know? But think about it, the shoulder's a ball and socket joint.
You practice, eventually you can come to that.
I would say yes. For me, it would probably take about a half a century of practice, but eventually I'd get there. You're very close.
Yeah, but one at a time, right?
If you want to, yeah, she has a bad shoulder. That's why she's doing. Wow. Wow. You're literally loosening up while we speak. You're loosening up while we speak. Yeah. Because the first time you did it like everybody else, kind of like this. Now, it's like, ideally swinging like this should be like a door swinging in the breeze. Because it's, the arm bone is the ball, then you have the socket, and it should just glide right through. That's really good. Okay. Now, and this is one of my favorites right now, and it's in the homework. So we're going to get long and head forward, head all the way back. You see my upper body really isn't moving, it's just my neck. All the way back. When you go all the way back, you should feel the muscles in your neck and upper back. You have it immediately. And then kind of lock those in and hold this position. This position is huge because when we sit, this happens. These muscles here become inactive. You have it. Let's do it again. Face forward, face all the way back. You have it. You're feeling this between the shoulder blades? You don't? Because the way you're standing tells me that you have it. Oh, nothing to be sorry about. You're doing it. The muscles are working. You just can't feel them. Drop your chin a little. Okay, look at me, Natalie. Bring your face forward. And now face back. Nope. I want the neck to move. That's it. You feel it between the shoulder blades? All right, bring it back, all the way back, and hold it. Drop the chin. And just hold it in the back position. So you can see I'm all the way forward, so I'm just stretching my neck. I go all the way back, and the muscles from the neck all the way in between the shoulder blades become highly active. Now, yes. Now, the cool thing about this, it's helping me with the neck problem that I've had for 41 years. Okay, can I see you do it again, please? Perfect. When she goes forward, just her neck is moving. When she comes back, everything locks in place. So, yeah, doesn't it? It just locks in place. So between right here, where I'm moving, those are the muscles that are locked in place. But once again, if I'm sitting, those muscles are asleep. Okay, they're loose. These muscles are tight, they're stronger than these muscles, and over time, pull us forward even more. So we want to combat that. So face forward, neck back. All right, you ready? Forward, back. So I'm going to hold on to the chair so my shoulders don't move. Forward, back, lock. So you should, when you come back, bring it back even further. Nope, don't tilt the head, just the neck. You should feel it right in here. So this is where you should feel it. You have it whether you feel it or not. You're locked in. You're locked in. Do you feel it right in here? Okay, good. And you're just ridiculous. You made the mind-muscle connection immediately.
Well, maybe she can do the model.
Right. When I do my nationwide speaking tour, I'm bringing you with me. Okay, let's try this again. Once you get, the reason this is part of the homework is because it's super important to combat this. Okay? Once you make, you have it. Look at the way she's sitting. Yes. But it's tough to make the mind-muscle connection because these muscles back here have been sleeping for years. Because we're always like this. So get long, lift the ribs high. Now, neck forward. So I have to, people respond to verbal cues differently. Some people, if I say face forward, face back, they get it. Some people neck forward, neck back. You get the turkey reference immediately. So, neck forward, neck back. As soon as my neck goes all the way back, the muscles between my shoulder blades fire. And now, I feel incredibly strong between the shoulder blades going up into the neck now. Like really strong. Drop. Put the hands behind the back. Okay, as soon as you do that, this relaxes. Good. Really good, Jeannie. Really good. That's excellent. That's the best posture I've seen you have, and I've known you for what, a year? 2? So we have officially reversed your posture age. And that's the way I look at things. When people hear reverse aging processes, they laugh. But if my first balance class here, I had a woman come in and she'd been using a walker for 2 years. After the 6-week program, she came in without a walker, okay? My class sizes went through the roof, but the cool thing is we reversed her balance age by however long she was using that walker, because she wasn't using it anymore except for long walks. Okay, sit down and take a break. So one of the more important parts of the homework is this. It's a tough one. Reason it's tough is we're having problems making the mind-muscle connection because those muscles, so the harder it is to do it, the more it means those muscles are sleeping and shut off. But once they start firing, and you find it immediately, so I'm thinking about bringing my chin all the way back even though I'm not tilting it. And as soon as you do that, all those muscles have been sleeping in the upper back become active. And it's a real good feeling. You're not trying to do it, but those muscles are active now because I can see the difference in the way you're sitting. Your neck is longer right now than it was when you came in today, or it has the appearance of it. It's tough, isn't it? That's okay, just practice. All you want to, and if you want to sit down and do it and hold the chair tight, so we're just forward, back. When I take my head and bring it back slowly, I'm going into a little bit of what is called thoracic extension. I'm going backwards, those muscles, and then they lock right in. Beautiful sitting posture. See how wide her feet are? That's great. Really good. Does it help if you're holding the chair? Okay. The difference is if you can't make the mind-muscle connection. So when she first started, she was moving the shoulders a little bit, the upper body a little bit. Now you're just moving the neck. So just go forwards and backwards, just using the neck. Okay, that's the movement. Now bring it all the way back. You got it? Yes, you have to. You got it? Because I can see your neck muscles right here firing. Yes, exactly. Now the cool thing about that, once you've mastered that, and those muscles are awake, you are always like this, okay? Right, but you're not moving the shoulders. Yes, right. Right, so that time you did it, you tried to do it by moving the shoulder. Don't try it by moving the shoulder, move the spine. And once again, once those muscles are active, it's virtually impossible for this to happen as we age. And that's the goal. Beautiful sitting posture. Now, this next one, and this is not part of the homework, we're just going to do it here. We have two pairs of muscles that attach the spine to the skull. They're called suboccipital muscles. They get really, really tight, okay? So what we want to do, and you don't have to do it against the wall, all I'm doing is I'm getting long and I'm dropping my chin about ½ inch. When I do that, I feel super stretch right through here, okay? Reason we're doing it is because for the posture of the neck, the cervical spine, 7 cervical vertebrae, ideally we want them to be functioning properly, okay? Because if not, it can cause shoulder pain and all sorts of other things. So you can do this sitting, sit nice and long, fix your eyes in a point on the opposite wall, and just drop your chin. So this is like a ½ inch movement. So if you can see, all I'm doing is this, and I'm feeling a stretch at the base of the skull. Some people will not feel it, but most people will. So you're just dropping the chin about ½ inch. Do you feel the stretch here? So you're doing too much of a movement. So lock it in here, okay? And now just drop. So I can only drop like a ½ inch, and I feel a huge stretch at the base of my skull. Yes. Yes. Exactly. It's about a ½ inch movement. But doing this is going to take the tension out of this area, and it's going to help with our cervical posture. You found it, huh? Now, stretching here may help your shoulder, because like you said, it radiates down. So let's try this again. Nice and long, and forward back. And now I just dropped my head a ½ inch. Actually, I went a little farther that time. So think about bringing the head all the way back without tilting it, and then do it. And I feel a huge stretch here. You feel it? No? That doesn't surprise me because you're pretty loose anyway. And that's why I didn't put it in the homework, because lots of people don't need it. Well, Nathan needs it. It's right, it's a tiny drop. It's like 1/4 of an inch. I find it easier right there. But I've already loosened up. I don't feel it as much now, which is good. But think about it, these muscles are tight from the base of the skull attaching to the neck. It's very difficult to do this. Because if they're tight, you don't have the length in it. So you are doing that using the whole neck. Try just doing just the top. Feel the difference? You can't go as far. Right. Okay, so what we're going to do, we have 10 minutes left. We're going to go through everything in the next 10 minutes. Anybody have any pain? How's your shoulder? Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is, your shoulder's getting a workout without moving it right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Okay, let's stand up. We're going to start with the glute squeeze, please. You got out of the chair very nicely, Jeannie. I remember when we first met, you weren't as stable getting out of the chair. Okay, feet parallel, and we're just going to squeeze the glutes. Hold for 5 seconds. Relax. Squeeze. Relax. Squeeze. Relax. Squeeze. Okay, now we're going to stay in that position. Take your pelvic point 3 inches below the navel. Pull it back in about 1/4 of an inch. Now we've set our pelvis. Holding that position, put your fingers on your bottom ribs and lift the front ribs up without going back. You just did it perfectly. Loosen up. But it's funny, both of you, we were talking about holding ourselves up with the wrong muscles. That's what you were doing there. But it's interesting, as soon as you put your hands behind your back, you're no longer holding yourself up with the wrong muscles. Okay, so glute squeeze, pelvic point, bottom rib up. Does everybody feel it in the lower back when you lift this up? Yeah. Okay, good. Super important. We're now putting, since the pelvis is in the right position, we're now putting our lumbar spine in the right position, and we're creating length between the vertebrae. If you were to do this every day, you will be taller at your next physical. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. But think about it, if these vertebrae are kind of like crushed on top of each other, not only is it not moving probably, but a much greater chance of back injury or inflammation. Really good, Natalie. Okay. Bottom rib up. Hold that position, hands behind the back. Every time you do that, you relax through here. Janet, you look like you're an inch taller. Natalie's taller as well. How tall do you want to be, Natalie? I'll put together a program for you.
5'1".
5'1"?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you at now?
4'11".
4'11"? No pun intended, that's a bit of a stretch, but we can see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Okay, bottom rib high. You feel that stretch in the lower back. We're now taking this internal rotation from sitting. We're externally rotating. Now, staying in this position, head forward, head all the way back, boom, and you can feel it in the shoulder blades, highly active. Jeannie doesn't feel it, but I saw your body do it, so that's good. Your posture's ridiculous. Career military. It's almost like career drill sergeant military. Now, where I'm feeling this the most is right here. Do you feel it? Mostly men feel it here. I feel it here from all the weightlifting. But I told you guys before class, the pectoralis minor attaches here, and then at the third, fourth, and fifth rib, it gets short when we sit. So now mine are talking to me big time because I'm stretching them out and they don't like it.
And I can feel it in the lower back.
Yeah? So you feel it in the lower back from lifting up the ribs. Because now when you lift up the ribs and you hold in this position, those muscles in the lower back are kicking in big time and they're not used to it. So I can do this class for a day at different facilities and go home and my lower back is exhausted. And all I did was stand up straight. That's kind of sad actually now that I think about it. So just the ribs, hands behind the back, face forward, all the way back, and then you feel those muscles from the neck down to the shoulder blades lock in. Those are the muscles that we want to make active. If those muscles are active, you cannot hunch over as you age. It's just not going to happen. And you'll breathe better, you'll digest better, and you'll look taller. It is a lot. And it's funny, everybody has verbal cues. I have a private client who makes her own jewelry. And she wears jewelry every day. And when she's hunched, I'll say like, oh man, your jewelry looks awful today. What's the problem with it? And then she'll go like this, and I'll, oh, much better. So her verbal cues, it's like, all right, I don't have to say, do this. All I say is show off the jewelry. And she's automatically in this position. Yes. Yes. How's the shoulder feel? Okay, good. All right, I want to go around the room and I want to see you do forward, back. Once I get here, my muscles automatically activate in here. So let's start with you, Natalie. Head forward. Now head all the way back. I want you to bring the head back further, but don't lift the chin up. Bring the neck back. Bring the neck back further. You feel it activate between the shoulders? Good.
Did I do it right though?
Yeah, it looked like it. Okay. Are you feeling it between the shoulders?
A little bit more, but I had it better before.
Okay.
Still losing.
And that's okay because you have to make the mind-muscle connection. Think about it. We very rarely use these muscles here because we're always like this sitting. And right now we're waking them up and telling them to go to work and they're saying, listen, you've left us alone for 40 years. Why are you bothering us now? Head forward, head back. Right, go into that back position again and hold it. Feel it? Okay, good. Jeannie? Beautiful. Hold it right there. Do you feel it? No. But I can see it. And that's all that matters. Okay, head forward, head back. See how only her neck moves and not the rest of her body? That's perfect. Well, no, you don't want to tell someone they have a turkey neck.
But it's really, you can see.
Because when you tell someone they have a right.
Sorry, but it's
Because
really
people with a turkey neck have something here. But when you think about turkeys, how do they walk?
It's amazing. You can see that the neck is like.
Right, and their necks are so long, you can see the cervical spine lengthening and then coming back. Yeah, but once again, we're firing those muscles behind the shoulder blades, and if they're active, so here, I'm just kind of relaxed, okay? I'm going to activate those muscles. When you get long, and I'm here. Big difference in my posture. That's ridiculously good. I know Natalie wants to add 2 inches to her height. We may be able to do it with you. Okay, and let's just finish up, and I want you to make a note of this when you're at home. You're standing on the side of the sink, because I want you to grab the sink, okay? Counters you can slip. And then get long, pelvic point, this position, and hold on to the sink, okay? Now, over the course of 6 weeks, you may be able to just have a fingertip on the sink. So make a note of that and see how you progress over the 6 weeks. People will say, oh, we're working balance here, but we're also working all the stabilizer muscles that we're waking up during the posture. Okay? Anybody have any questions? No? Really good job. Really good job. And once again, it's so important because after sleep, hydration, and nutrition, posture is the next most important thing as far as I'm concerned, as far as aging is concerned. And then, once again, if we have space between all the vertebrae in the spine, we're going to move better, less chance of shoulder injury, knee injury, hip injury. Plus, you look better. You know? And it's funny, just a change in posture is going to change, will change you. If there's a huge change in posture, there's a huge change psychologically. Because the body doesn't like to be like this. It's exhausting. So you may find if you change your posture enough, you'll have more energy during the day. Yeah. Okay, nice job, everyone. We will see you next week. Thank you. If you have any questions concerning the homework, just shoot me off an email. I'll get back to you. You're quite welcome. You're looking really tall. Yeah, doesn't she? And it's funny, all we have to do is wake up these muscles, they remember what they're supposed to do, and all of a sudden we're taller. 2 inches may be a stretch, but we'll work on it.
Well, I'll take that.
Okay. Very nice job today.